guys ready to ride? You just get naked for no reason. Trying to show off your muscles, dude? Whose Instagram should we put this on?
Me.
Yours? Trying to get all the followers?
In some sibling rivalries, one brother might hold an advantage over the other.
This is how it works.
It's the bike's on the ground. Okay, your brother gets to go. You gotta do 10 push-ups. Pick up your bike, start it.
It'll be like 3 laps.
4.
4?
Yeah.
For brothers Hayden and Hudson Deegan, the advantage is having each other and a big sister, and 2 parents who live for racing the Deegan way. Brian Deegan knows what it's like to stay competitive and to keep it fair. A father has his ways.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 6, 5.
From his hometown of Omaha, Nebraska, to the desert winds of Temecula Valley, California, Brian Deegan began his iconic career with nothing more than his dirt bike and a few $100 in his pocket. Deegan's legitimate riding skills instantly drew attention from the most prestigious of Supercross. But the Supercross model of professional racing never quite fit the personality of Brian Deegan.
Supercross, even to the day, it's been very, very corporatized. The riders can't have tattoos. They wanted Supercross to be like football or soccer, but in reality, it's a machine with high-octane fuel.
Deegan's bold displays in the air helped forge the sport we know today as freestyle motocross.
He's bred different than most people. He's always striving for greatness. His way to get there is just to keep pushing and pushing and pushing.
I went to the X Games for the first time. I got there and Brian Deegan's like, hey Travis, hey Miss Pastrana, how you doing? Man, I've seen some of the stuff you're doing and this is awesome. You know, I can't wait to ride together. And I'm like, some kind of mental psych out.
Travis Pastrana and Brian, they've had this rivalry since day one. I think just the story behind the good boy and the bad boy kind of resonated with the industry and the fans and with each other. They pushed each other so hard that it took freestyle from this little baby to this grown-up.
Even though we were the biggest competitors, it was always militia versus nitro, good versus evil. Deegan was always the nicest competitor. When we were riding, he wanted to win. And he was super competitive, and he got that from motocross. He's one of the few freestyle guys that have actually won a Supercross.
Without the two of them, then there's a good chance that neither one of them would be racing rally cars today or doing the Nitro Circus or racing trucks. I think that they really owe kind of their success to one another.
It's been really cool, because since that one moment where Brian Deegan, who I just thought met a militia, I was like, oh, he's not even gonna talk to me, was like, hey, this is awesome, this is so great. It just changed my whole mentality on life and really started Nitro Circus.
Metal Militia began its travel routes in the late 90s, immediately becoming an influential cultural brand for a motocross generation of a different kind, the Brian Deegan kind.
Brian's always kind of the bad guy. He kind of broke the norm and started just riding freestyle and making people upset.
Everything that he does, it's bigger than life. And I feel like that's what got freestyle off the ground. It was these personalities, and he understood that. He understood business.
This was a new voice for riders who saw their work on a bike as their statement to the world. As Militia co-founder and the most decorated freestyle rider in X Games history, Brian Deegan drew the enthusiastic support and following of some of the best athletes on the planet. The Deegan Revolution inspired groundbreaking movements everywhere and helped usher in what has become one of the most important generations in motocross history.
I definitely think Nitro Circus took a little bit of a page out of the Metal Militia, the Crusty Demons, maybe a little Guy Cooper as well.
You know, I wouldn't say Travis followed in Brian's footsteps. I think they really motivated each other to continue to be leaders. They didn't do it for themselves. They did it for everyone that they rode with. And it's a once-in-a-lifetime deal that's just awesome to witness.
Freestyle motocross to me has always been about trying to do something new. The thing that I remember growing up was watching Deegan and Pastrana. I respected them and I always will.
You want to end up like Jackson?
Don't want to be washed up like that.
But the unparalleled success only stoked the fire in Brian Deegan's ambition to be a champion. Deegan's emergence in the off-road truck racing world was nothing short of spectacular, capturing both championships in the Lucas Oil Pro 2 and Pro Light Championship.
Known for his physical and mental toughness, there's nothing that Deegan can't overcome. Tonight's episode of Motorclub is made possible in part by metalmilitia.com.
What I admire about Brian is he's a very fast learner. He picks things up very, very quickly, and I'd imagine his success through racing, dirt bike, freestyle, everything has been in his ability to translate what he knows he should do into the physical act of doing it.
Brian Deegan is one of the smartest competitors I've ever met. He's a guy that knows when he has a chance to win, and if he has a chance to win, he's willing to put everything on the line. He'll sacrifice anything. He'll work as hard as he needs to work and harder than anybody else.
For other action sports athletes, Brian Deegan's transformation to four-wheel is an inspiration in goal setting and self-preservation. Other friends and fellow competitors, like Travis Pastrana, also saw the cage as the next chapter.
Brian Deegan switching to rally and doing cars and trucks is something that I never thought was gonna work out. He just has that personality. He's like, yeah, we're gonna win everything. I'm like, doesn't work in the car industry, but he's practiced, he's worked, he's built his compound around it. And honestly, he's one of, if not the best off-road truck drivers in the world.
Tucked among serene wineries and desert cattle ranches is Brian Deegan's super athlete property.
Today, Brian Deegan is one of the most respected competitors in rallycross and off-road trucks. But with all the fame and accolades, Brian Deegan's greatest achievement is his family. Having watched their father turn his passion into a brand and a business, the Deegan children have an unshakable perspective. They trust and know that anything is possible through focus and hard work.
Brian's got so many trophies on the wall. He's won X Games, and rally car, and trucks, and he's kind of more or less born to be a champion. His daughter Haley and his two sons, Hayden and Hudson, that championship blood, they got it. He's investing everything he's got, every ounce of energy and time, and to get his kids in the right spot to become champions on their own. And the kids love it. They look forward to going to the races with Dad. They love the hard hours. They love the way that, Dad teaches them how to study race lines. It's cool to see how racing's created this family bond that not a lot of families get.
Go out there and practice some turns. We just fixed this thing, so I think it was the power valve in the exhaust, so we fixed it. So just let me know if it still feels weird. So let's go jump in, I'll help you strap in. Do you have your earbuds in?
No.
Come on, Haley. This thing's so loud.
Brian's racing rally car. He's got a full truck team, and he's got Haley who's racing trucks, and she's testing for stock cars, and got Hayden who's racing the amateur series with KTM, his youngest son Hudson who's kind of following Hayden's footsteps. And then he's got all these employees, and he's got Metal Militia, the business that he's a co-owner of, and he's got the race team, and 24 sponsors to report to, and a whole management team. So he carries a lot of weight on his shoulders. It's heavy. I don't know how he does it.
Hayden keeps advancing, which is more time than I ever expected, so every day has been full on. Bikes, mechanics, traveling. Like, it's funny because I see parents doing that, but they're not racing trucks, racing cars, running businesses. It's hard to keep up, but then Hudson wants to do it also now. It actually works pretty good with Haley because her racing 4 wheels just fits in with what I'm doing.
Yeah.
So she just goes to the track with me and it fits in perfect.
Haley Deegan, the champion of Lucas Oil Off-Road Series, continues to grow her career, training and putting in the seat time required to be a regular on the podium.
I like being with my dad at the races because he's always helping me on what I do since he's been racing forever. So it really helps with lines and knowing how to pass people and where's the fastest points.
Meanwhile, in the world where his father began, Hayden Deegan, better known as Danger Boy, has been consistently showing the marks of a prodigy on his way to greatness. As the youngest, Hudson Deegan is quickly following in his brother's footsteps.
Here's your orange gear, Hudson. Maybe you can wash it after today. I showed you how to use the washing machine. You wanna borrow my socks? They're long, but they're fireproof in case you catch on fire.
They're fine.
They are. You're gonna need to be smart, because if you're not fast on a dirt bike, you're gonna have to be smart, all right? Always be the mechanic. Work on the dirt bike. Look like you're a racer. Like you're a freestyler.
Daddy,
What?
one gear is ripped.
Yeah? Because you're crashing a lot. Here, put your head in. I'm gonna mess your hairdo up. Shave your head again.
Yeah, shave your head.
If I would have known what I know now, back then when coming from a small town in Nebraska, I didn't have anyone to teach me. I just learned by trial and error. Well, now I'm able to teach my kids everything from the good to the bad, kind of fast track. Like Hayden's ability where he's at now, he's far better than I was. Ready? Hudson, you take it easy. Don't go all crazy, Hudson. There he goes. We're gonna give Hudson a head start by, whoa. Dude.
It's awesome to see someone that can transition from a sport that didn't exist, build that sport up, build up a brand, start a family, have an awesome, family life. He is one of the smartest and hardest working people that I've ever met.
Deegan, the first day since we've been hanging out, he's been pushing me, helping me try to progress, whether it's at the contest or at home. He's in the foam pit helping me, giving me tips. He's something he's done for his whole life as well, and he's got many more years experience than me.
Jacko Strong's got a big heart, and Brian also has a big heart. I think they're so attracted to each other because Jackson's got a very similar work ethic. He's got an entrepreneur mind. He's constantly thinking outside of the box, trying to do things that aren't just on his dirt bike. Brian kind of took Jackson under his wing, kind of like a third son.
A mentor and role model to others like champion freestyle motocross rider Jacko Strong, Deegan's influence runs deep.
I think we have mutual respect for each other. I know I've always respected him a lot since day one, and I forever will for what he's done in, whether it's 2 wheels, 4 wheels, wherever he goes, he just sort of puts his heart and soul into that, and he makes sure that he does it the best that he can. And I think at the end of the day, no matter what you're doing, that's all that really matters. I grew up on I guess you would say in outback Australia. It's a 20,000-acre farming property in central New South Wales of Australia, and it's pretty similar here to Southern California, so definitely don't feel like I'm too far away from home here. I've got all the eucalypt gum trees and stuff, so it definitely feels like home. It's just the 15-hour flight each way that doesn't feel like home.
From Australia to Temecula, Jacko Strong has the roots to represent the sport and the mission.
I think freestyle motocross is much different to any other sport. I find in most other sports you feel like you're competing against each other, but when there's 10 of us top guys at a contest, we all know what each other's going through, and we all know the stress, and we all know the danger involved with what we're doing, what someone else is doing. So everyone's just out there to see their friends do good, really, and everyone just wants to do the big tricks that they set out to do and stay safe. And as long as we can all do that, we're all just friends at the end of the day.
To have the disciplined and steady hand of Jacko Strong in your circle is a welcome influence on Hayden Deegan.
When he comes into town, he's at Brian's house and spending time with Brian's kids, and Jacko's a big reason why Danger Boy probably flipped to dirt.
Yeah, you didn't see the flip today.
Brian always knew it was going to happen, but I think Jacko was there just to give him that extra little push.
To be in Deegan's inner circle, you have to have character.
I ride bikes to showcase to the world what I can do, and it pushes me, and it's a good feeling. I've set a run that I want to do. I've practiced for months and years on end to do these 10 tricks in a run, so when I get out there, I feel like I'm the only person on the course with the pressure on myself against myself.
Jacko Strong doesn't want to be that guy that does what everyone else does. He doesn't care to be the best at everything. He just wants to do the biggest, baddest, gnarliest thing that's going to drop everyone's jaw, and he wants to go home and work on the next big thing.
Lake Elsinore, California. It's dirt that feels familiar to an off-road racing series champion like Brian Deegan. Friends and rival teammates like Tanner Faust, who have been by his side before, in X Games, in rallycross, in off-road trucks. The elements are all in play. The heat, the mechanical challenges, the pressure to stay ahead. Though he seems to wear the intensity in the pre-race, one never knows the working and complicated mindset of Brian Deegan.
Brian is a workhorse. He never lets off the gas. If he's not texting me at 5 in the morning, he's texting me at 2 in the morning. You know, he's bred different than most people.
I was teammates with Brian for a long time, and he would be trying a specific corner with a car that I had a lot of experience in and just doing it in a way that wasn't really working, and we would talk one conversation, and then he would be just as fast or faster than me through that corner for the rest of the weekend.
He's smart, and it's hard to beat someone that's really smart, because even when you think you have everything and you think you have it all covered, he knows what it's going to take to win, and he's figured out a way to do it.
Being involved in motorsports, no matter what you're in, whether it's motocross, supercross, freestyle, cars, trucks, anything, you're always going to, have that passion and love for engines, going fast, going sideways. There's going to come a time in my career when I say, hey, the bikes I've been doing it for a long time now, and I'm having trouble getting out of bed because it hurts, and I think it's time to get in the cage. If you've been on a dirt bike, rally's where you sort of go to fit in, it's just motocross in 4 wheels.
Every time you pass the apex of the turn, make sure the car is just going straight.
People always say, what do you do in your off time? Well, for Brian Deegan, for me, for almost anyone that's successful in action sports, you do exactly what you do when you're on the clock. You skateboard, you motorcycle, you drive cars. When it's a passion and you're that type of person that doesn't like to fail, and no one likes to fail, but everyone goes home and then they talk about what they're gonna do. Brian doesn't talk. He just goes home and does it.
All get together and be like, hey, just let Brian make the jump.
Yeah, I would like it.
Like, why can't we all do that?
It's loaded right into the turn.
For an athlete who's made history and revolutionized sports culture, Brian Deegan may someday be forgotten as a new Deegan takes his place.